I'm a doctor and, we're very much into clinical interventions like psychological, psychiatric interventions, different sorts of therapies. And much of the focus in terms of research and recovery for survivors is around psychotherapy, which types of psychotherapy are better. But I think in our data we see that we're achieving significant recovery without everyone needing that level of individual support, that it's the workplace itself that is the intervention. One of the key drivers of recovery is identity transformation. It's something that we had progressively observed, but then our research partners came in and did some qualitative research and really were able to confirm that that's one of the key drivers. So that means that their social identity is evolving from having quite a strong survivor or victim identity to starting to see themselves as a skilled professional. So that change in identity, the confidence, increased self-esteem that comes with that enables them to change other areas of their life, such as their relationships, making better choices in terms of who their partner is, or some of the risk-taking behaviours, or even just planning their family. Yeah, it's their identity and aspiration change that is one of the core fundamental drivers. And if they can't go through that journey, then it's unlikely that they're going to see a lot of recovery. So trauma damages brain functions. It damages their executive function, their ability to focus, pay attention, be detail orientated, and of course that affects a lot of responses and behaviour. And the work here requires a lot of sustained attention and a lot of focus on detail. We feel like that repairs some of the damage done to their brain or their cognitive processes as a result of trauma. We're not just trying to prevent the manifestations of trauma, we're trying to create an environment where they recover, and that's a different thing. That's a big question about what it is in the workplace that is essentially therapeutic. And again, we go back to the cultural elements, the safety, the belonging, the identity transformation, even just the mindfulness that we do. I think part of it is that this is a really challenging environment. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from failure. And they need opportunities to fail, they need opportunities to challenge themselves to be able to bounce back. So it's like a form of prolonged exposure therapy in many ways. We expose them to incremental levels of stress whilst providing them the skills to manage that stress within the workplace, and therefore those skills transfer back, I believe, to their trauma experience, and they're able to use those core skills to manage some of the trauma-related effects. We also do it because they need a success experience. If it was easy, they wouldn't get to the 6 months, they wouldn't get to regularisation and think, I've achieved something, and get the boost to their self-esteem and self-image that gives them. You will hear in their narrative that they really were anxious when they started. They didn't think they would be able to do it, and they did. And for them, that may be the first success experience that they've had, and it's important. I don't think we can consider someone to be recovered or reintegrated until they can hold down a good job. And my increasing belief is that, the workplace can and perhaps even should be the major site for recovery and reintegration.